Something I was looking for too. You mentioned earlier after you played Pinoy that you've been playing Nash a little bit because he's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
So you didn't feel like you needed to bring out the Karen at all?
No.
How's it going, everybody? This is Ryan here from Plus on Block, and I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. And if not, hopefully I can make your day a little bit better. As you guys could see from the title of this video and probably the thumbnail when you clicked on it, this video is all about the one, the only Punk the God. A lot of people's favorite Street Fighter V player, and rightfully so. Punk the God is one of those players that are just extremely polarizing. Now, I want to talk to you guys about how I became a Punk fan and why Punk is one of my favorite players. I always say that Tasty Steve is the reason why Punk is one of my favorite players, and that might sound a little bit weird, but it is because Tasty Steve uploaded the video of when Punk was fighting Flash Metroid back at the King of the Hill tournaments that they used to have. I think it was like late 2015 or early 2016 or something like that. I don't know. It was like after Street Fighter V came out, 2016 or something. Years doesn't matter. All that matters is that Punk cooked Flash with his secondary. That's right, we all know Punk is known for his Karin Kanzuki, but he decided to use Nash. Obviously Bonchan is one of his favorite players, so he did pick Nash a couple times. He did play Nash a couple times, and he figured that Flash wasn't up to his caliber. Flash wasn't worthy of his Karin Kanzuki, so he used Nash against his Urian, and it was a wash. I think at the end they were playing first to 10 and Punk won 10-2. It was either like 10-2 or 10-3, but it was nasty. Like, it was even towards like the end of the sets, like Punk was just dominating. And after those sets, when Tasty Steve uploaded the clips of what was happening behind the scenes, that's when I was like, alright, Punk is one of my favorite characters. Now, if you guys haven't seen it, here's a clip, and once again, shout out to Tasty Steve.
You suck, coach. You thought you suck.
I just beat you. I cooked you. What was the score? Like 10-3? Come on, bro. All you do is talk. Who win majors? Do you?
You don't win no damn majors.
I don't. So when I go home, I'll send you a picture of it. Ask for a money man. Win a major and then ask me for a money man.
Oh my God.
Actually get some money and then ask
Don't
me
go
for a
on
money
Twitter
man.
saying that I
Maybe you should go give that other guy the stuff okay before you
my
get on.
God.
I don't know why you want to play second game. That's it, bro. You can't beat me.
Yo, they're still talking. Yo, they're still talking.
You'll get good one day. Remember, I'm just a one-hit wonder, but you just got cooked by my second.
Man, guys, every time I watch it, it is just so funny, man. Especially when Flash was telling, now of course in hindsight now it's even funnier, but especially when Flash was telling Punk that, he has to win some majors, like, oh, he hasn't won a major, and then Punk was just like, I haven't? Like, Punk was like, me? I haven't won? Granted, at this time now, obviously Punk wasn't at the level that he is currently today in 2019 with all the things behind his belt, but as you can see on the screen now, I mean, Punk is a dominant force with multiple top 8 placings, multiple first place takings, raking in all kinds of cash, raking in all kinds of money, and it's just funny to see. It's funny to watch it, to look back in hindsight, but it's also funny when he just told him, he's like, hey man, you said I was a one-hit wonder, but I just cooked you with my secondary. What's going on here? Like, oh man, you know what's so funny, guys? It became a little bit of a meme within my friend group, within my community, where if a new character comes out, or if somebody's not playing their main, if they're testing out a new character, maybe they're trying to learn a matchup, who knows, if you lose to that person and they're not playing their main, we just go like, ah man, you just got cooked by their secondary. Like, that was spawned from Punk. And it's one of those things where thank you so much, Steve, for recording this and posting this online. And it's crazy because the video didn't even have that many views compared to the video views that a lot of videos in the fighting game community get. I think it was only about 2,000 views, but at the time it was like even less than that. But man, at that moment, I was like, you know what? This guy is one of my favorite players, one of my favorite competitors in the fighting game genre, in the fighting game community, simply because I like the cockiness, I like the arrogance, but more importantly, I like the fact that he can back it up. And I feel like that is the biggest part. You know, nobody cares about a guy that will talk a lot of shit, a guy that will speak up, a guy that will boost himself up, but then he just gets washed, right? Nobody cares about that. But when there's a guy that comes through, that talks that shit, a guy that's cocky, a guy that likes to showboat, and then he backs it up and he wins, I mean, you got no choice but to be a fan. And I personally feel like Punk is exactly that. Now, enough talking about Punk in terms of his persona, in terms of his character, in terms of who he is in the fighting game community. The one thing that I absolutely love about him as a competitor in-game in terms of his skill is his whiff punishing. Guys, I'm sure you guys know Punk is one of the best people at baiting throws, one of the best people at whiff punishing and confirming and taking all the damage he can get by being as optimal as possible. Watching him play Street Fighter is like a work of art. Watching him play is so methodical, watching him play so perfectly almost in some situations. It almost looks like a robot. You just gotta be a fan of it. You can see why he wins so many matches. Obviously with him playing Karin Kanzuki, I mean, the range on her normals, the different things that she could do, the ways that she can end her combos, the way that she could set up for Oki and do different mix-ups. I mean, it just makes for an entertaining match, for an entertaining fighter. Obviously on the screen right now you can see a couple of his whiff punishes, and I mean, the guy is just skillful, the guy is just talented, and I wish I could have whiff punishing skills like himself, because maybe I would go up a couple ranks. But hey, it's something you can work on, but it's something that I definitely can appreciate. It's something that I definitely can applaud, and I know that Punk is going to continue to keep doing it. I know that Punk is going to continue to keep dominating, and those reasons are the reasons why Punk is one of my favorite players. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, share the video with a friend, also hit that like button, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy fighting games as much as I do.